Maya wasn't looking for anything. She had only gone back to Daniel's car because she'd left her sunglasses in the passenger door. She found them exactly where she remembered. But as she reached down to pick them up, something vibrated beneath the seat. Once, then again. Maya froze. Daniel's phone was inside the house. She had just watched him put it on the kitchen counter, screen down. So whatever was buzzing under her fingers wasn't his phone. It was another one. She bent down and reached beneath the seat. Her fingers closed around it. Black case, cracked corner, no wallpaper, no photo of the two of them on the lock screen. Just one message glowing across the display. "Are you still coming tonight?" Maya stared at it. The message was from someone saved simply as J. She and Daniel were getting married in 6 weeks, and as far as Maya knew, in 4 years together, Daniel had only ever had one phone. They had been together for 4 years. Their relationship wasn't perfect, but Maya had never once considered Daniel secretive. He left his real phone lying around the house, unlocked, face up. She knew his friends. He knew hers. Their families had spent the last 3 Christmases together. The wedding invitations had already gone out. Maya's dress was hanging in a garment bag in her mother's spare bedroom. Daniel had spent the previous Sunday complaining about how much the flowers cost. Everything about their life looked ordinary, which was exactly what made a second hidden phone feel like something else entirely. Maya sat inside the car staring at it. Another message appeared. "Please don't cancel again." Her stomach tightened. She wanted to unlock it, but it needed a passcode. She tried Daniel's birthday. Wrong. She tried the 4 digits he used for almost everything else in his life. Wrong. Then she heard the front door open. "Maya?" Daniel was coming outside. She pushed the phone back under the seat, fast, and by the time he reached the car, she was standing beside it, holding nothing but her sunglasses. "Found them," she said. Daniel smiled. "Good. You ready?" Maya looked at him. 4 years together, 6 weeks from marriage, and in the space of 90 seconds, she had gone from planning a wedding to having no idea whether the man in front of her was the one she thought she knew. That evening, Maya said nothing. She watched instead. Daniel cooked dinner. He complained about work. He asked whether they should change one of the songs for the reception. Normal. Almost painfully normal, considering what was sitting in his car outside. Then, shortly after 8, Daniel checked the time. "I need to go out for a bit." Maya looked up. "Where?" "Tom needs help moving something." Tom was Daniel's closest friend. Normally, Maya wouldn't have thought twice about it. Tonight, she did. "What does he need moving?" Daniel hesitated. It lasted maybe half a second, but Maya noticed because she was looking for it now. "Some furniture." "At 9 at night?" "He's working tomorrow." Daniel kissed her forehead. "I won't be long." Maya watched from the window as he walked toward his car. He opened the driver's door, then stopped and looked down toward the passenger seat, checking that something was still there. Maya stepped back from the curtain before he could see her watching. A minute later, his car disappeared down the road. She picked up her own phone and typed a message to Tom. "Hope the move goes well tonight. Don't work Daniel too hard." Then she waited. Tom replied 6 minutes later. "What move?" Maya could have called Daniel right then. She could have screamed at him the second he walked back through the door. Instead, she did something she didn't particularly like about herself. She waited. At 10:42, Daniel came home. "How's Tom?" "Stressed." "Did you get everything moved?" "Most of it." Daniel walked into the kitchen and opened the fridge like it was any other night. Maya stared at his back. There it was. Not a misunderstanding, not something she'd imagined. He had looked her in the face and lied. Twice. without even hesitating the second time. Maya wanted to ask him who Jay was right there, but something stopped her. If she confronted him now, he could explain away one message. He could delete the phone, delete everything on it, and tell her she was overreacting to nothing. So Maya decided she wanted the truth first. The explanation could come after. For 3 days, nothing happened. Daniel went to work, he came home. The second phone stayed hidden in the car, and Maya let it stay there, watching, waiting for her moment. Thursday evening, he went upstairs to shower. His car keys were sitting on the kitchen counter. Maya took them, walked out to the driveway, and opened the car. The phone was still there. This time, there were 4 notifications waiting. She keeps asking about you. You promised. Saturday, please. And finally, you can't keep doing this to her. Maya's first thought was another woman. Her second thought was worse. Who was she? Maya photographed each notification with her own phone, then put everything back exactly the way she'd found it, down to the angle it had been lying at. That night, Daniel fell asleep within minutes beside her. Maya stayed awake until almost 4, running the same 4 messages through her head on a loop. Saturday morning, Daniel told her he had to work. He rarely worked weekends, but Maya didn't challenge him on it. At 10:15, he left. At 10:20, Maya followed. She hated herself for doing it. Every sensible part of her brain told her to turn the car around and go home. But another part of her needed to know whether she was 6 weeks away from marrying someone who had built an entire second life she knew nothing about. Daniel drove for nearly 40 minutes, then turned into a residential street she'd never once visited in 4 years. He parked outside a small red brick house. Maya stayed several cars back and watched. The front door opened. A woman stepped outside, around Daniel's age. Maya's chest tightened. Daniel walked toward her, and the woman hugged him, easy and familiar, like it was something they did every week. Maya's hands gripped the steering wheel. Then another figure appeared in the doorway. A little girl, maybe 6 years old. The child saw Daniel and ran straight for him. He bent down and caught her mid-stride, and she wrapped both arms around his neck like it was the most natural thing in the world. Daniel held her the way you hold someone you've held 100 times before. Maya couldn't move. She sat frozen in the driver's seat and watched the 3 of them disappear inside the house together. Daniel came home shortly after 3. Maya was waiting at the kitchen table. No shouting, no tears. Not yet. Who is she? Daniel stopped in the doorway. Who? The little girl. His face changed, and that change was all the confirmation Maya needed before he even opened his mouth. She placed her phone on the table, the photograph of him holding the child already on the screen. For several seconds, neither of them spoke. Then Daniel sat down across from her. Her name is Sophie. Maya waited. Daniel rubbed both hands over his face. She's my daughter. The room seemed to shrink around her. Maya heard the words clearly. She understood every single one of them. But together they made no sense at all. Your what? My daughter. You don't have a daughter. I do. Maya stood up from the table. You've known me for 4 years. I know. We're getting married. I know. And you have a 6-year-old daughter you never once mentioned? Daniel looked at the floor and told her everything. Sophie had been born 2 years before Maya and Daniel even met. Her mother, Jasmine, the J saved on the phone, had moved away not long after their relationship ended, and for a while Daniel had barely seen his own daughter at all. When he met Maya, he told himself he'd explain everything once things got serious between them. Then things got serious, and the longer he waited, the harder the truth became to say out loud. Eventually, Jasmine had moved back, and he'd started seeing Sophie regularly again. That's when he bought the second phone. Not because he was having an affair, but because he was hiding his own child. And somehow, that felt easier than admitting he'd hidden her for so long already. Daniel kept talking. He said Jasmine wasn't his girlfriend. He said nothing romantic had happened between them in years. He said the secret phone existed only because he was terrified Maya would leave the second she found out. Finally, Maya cut him off. "You think that's supposed to make this better?" Daniel went quiet. "You didn't hide a mistake from me, Daniel. You hid a person. I was going to tell you." "When?" "Before the wedding." Maya laughed once, not because anything was funny. "The wedding is in 6 weeks. Were you going to tell me before or after I chose the table decorations?" Daniel's eyes filled. "I messed this up." "No, you managed it. For years." That distinction mattered to Maya more than anything else he said that night. A mistake happens once, by accident. Daniel had made hundreds of small, deliberate decisions to keep this secret alive. The second phone, the fake trips to Tom's, the lies about furniture that never existed, the hidden Saturdays. And every single time he had come home afterward and behaved as though nothing had happened at all. Maya canceled the wedding the next morning. Not the relationship, the wedding. There was a difference, and she needed to hold on to it. Her mother wanted her to leave Daniel immediately. Her best friend said the same thing. Maya understood exactly why, but she didn't want a decision this big to be made in shock, in the first raw week when everything still felt like betrayal. She moved into her sister's flat for a month. During that month, she met Sophie, not because Daniel asked her to, but because Maya asked to. Sophie turned out to be funny, loud, and completely obsessed with dinosaurs, and she had nothing to do with the decisions her father had made. Watching Daniel with his daughter, Maya understood something uncomfortable. He wasn't ashamed of Sophie. He had been ashamed of his own cowardice, of not trusting Maya enough to tell her the truth years earlier. That didn't excuse anything he'd done, but it changed the question Maya actually had to answer. Could she love someone she no longer fully trusted? And even if she could, should she? Maya didn't marry Daniel that summer. The venue was canceled. The flowers were canceled. The dress stayed zipped in its bag in her mother's spare room. But Maya didn't end the relationship either. Instead, Daniel started rebuilding the thing he'd damaged, one honest decision at a time. No second phone, no invented errands, no hidden Saturdays. Maya made no promises about marriage, and Daniel understood he wasn't entitled to one anymore. 6 months later, they were still together. Slowly, carefully. Sophie had become part of Maya's life too, in her own right, not just as Daniel's daughter, but as someone Maya had chosen to know. Whether Maya and Daniel eventually marry isn't really the point of this story. The real question is the one Maya had to sit with alone, long after the confrontation was over. Can love survive a lie that big, even when the lie wasn't an affair? Maya decided that forgiveness was possible, but she also decided forgiveness and trust weren't the same thing. Forgiveness could happen in a single conversation. Trust had to be rebuilt, one true day at a time, and she wasn't going to marry anyone until it had been. What would you have done? Would you have walked away the moment you found that phone? Or would you have given Daniel the chance to earn his way back? Tell me in the comments. And if you enjoy relationship stories where one discovery changes everything, The next story is already waiting for you here on Mind Love Fix Stories.